Periodic revolutions, the divine rhythm of creation. Kardec teaches that everything in the universe obeys regular cycles, from the movement of the stars to the transformations of the earth. These cycles, or periodic revolutions, are divine mechanisms of balance that prevent stagnation and ensure the renewal of life. What man calls a catastrophe, Providence calls progress. Thus, each revolution is a step forward in the ascending march of universal evolution. Modern geology confirms this law of periodicity. The layers of the Earth's crust reveal successive geological eras, separated by major transformations, glaciations, eruptions, axis changes, and mass extinctions. These events, seemingly destructive, paved the way for new forms of life and more complex environments. Kardec, in a visionary way, saw in these revolutions the breathing of the earth, the rhythmic movements of the planet under the command of divine intelligence. Astrophysics broadens this view to the cosmos. Stars are born, live, and die, dispersing elements that form new suns and planets. Galaxies collide and reorganize in harmony with gravitational laws. Even the universe, according to current theories, alternates between phases of expansion and contraction, a cosmic pulsar reminiscent of the heart of eternity. Spiritualism recognizes in this harmony the reflection of divine thought in constant action. Periodic revolutions also affect the moral and spiritual plane. Entire humanity goes through phases of ignorance and violence, followed by renaissances of light and brotherhood. These movements are not punishments, but educational processes through which Earth's collective spirit purifies and elevates itself. Each moral era corresponds to a new stage in the evolution of consciousness. Kardec teaches that the law of progress is universal. Just as the seasons follow one another in nature, the moral seasons follow one another in the history of humanity. The times of war and selfishness are the winter of the collective soul. The eras of peace and fraternity are the spring of the spirit. Providence allows crises so that renewal may emerge from them. Modern cosmology reinforces this notion of periodicity. Astrophysicists identify cycles of solar activity, orbital variations of the Earth, and cosmic oscillations that directly influence climate, biodiversity, and the rhythms of life. Everything vibrates and breathes in harmony with a universal rhythm, reminiscent of a symphony with no beginning or end. With each beat, the universe is recreated. On the spiritual level, higher spirits reveal that the same principle governs reincarnation. Each existence is an individual revolution, a cycle of tests and lessons that takes the being from ignorance to wisdom. The spirit, like the planet, also goes through its internal seasons. It is born in shadow, matures in pain, and blossoms in light. Periodicity is, therefore, the rhythm of perfection, repeating itself on all scales of creation. Kardec explains that Earth, still in a phase of trials and expiations, is preparing for a great moral revolution that will transform humanity into a more fraternal and spiritualized society. These changes are already manifesting. Science advances, consciousness expands, and good begins to predominate over evil. Spiritism is one of the signs of this new era, the dawn of planetary regeneration. Modern ecology sees something similar. Earth's balance depends on natural cycles of renewal. Forests burn and are reborn, oceans renew themselves, species disappear to make way for others. Nothing is static. Life is constant movement. What Kardec called periodic revolutions is, in essence, the dance of creation, where destruction and birth alternate to maintain divine harmony. Thus, periodic revolutions are the expression of God's love and wisdom in action over time. Nothing is lost, nothing is erased. Everything transforms and elevates. Each cycle is a step in the infinite. If this reflection brought serenity and faith in the future, share it. because understanding the periodic revolutions is to realize that life is God's rhythm, and each change is a note in the eternal symphony of the Spirit.